We advise the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
People of this country, hindi makikita yung pinanggalingan natin.
Basta hindi susundo ka ng doktor, habulin ka ng aso, kalaban hindi nire-release naman ng pork barrel nito. Useless naman.
Mga patay, papabigyan ko ng 5,000 from my... So,
Marami na nagsasabi na
Hindi. Dahil baka mangyari, lahat ng madidismiss, mang-hostage na lang para ma-reinstate.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to our show, Heartbeat Live. I'm your host, Ray Orosa. Magkakasama po tayo sa susunod na isang oras. At marami tayong mapapag-usapan po sa gabing ito na naway kayo'y masisiyahan. Alam po niyo, isang bagay na gumagambala sa aking isipan is the thought na 2013 ay malapit na. No? Alam na po naman ninyo ang preparasyon para sa isang eleksyon. Siyempre, mahabang mahaba. At napakadaming issue na kailangan talakayin ang bansa, ang COMELEC at ang pamahalaan tungkol po dito sa darating na halalan in 2013. And it's never too early to try to examine what happened in 2010 to see kung nandun ang pundasyon. Kung magkakaroon tayo ng isang matino at maayos na halalan. Sa lahat po na lumalabas sa dyaryo, alam naman natin, in past programs, we've dealt with it also, na maraming bagay na parang ginawa ang COMELEC nung sa nakaraang rehimen doon under another chairman na labag sa batas sa pananaw ng marami at nagkaroon na ng mga desisyon ng Korte Suprema na sinuutusan ng COMELEC na gawin ito at gawin yun. Ngunit hanggang ngayon, wala pong nangyayari. Hindi sumusunod ang COMELEC at tapos ngayon, gusto nilang bilhin itong PCOS machines para sa 2013 elections na kailangan natin pag-aralan, tingnan kung bakit kung ito ba'y mabuti o ito ay hindi maganda. Sa gabi pong ito, ang panauhin natin ay dalawang tao po na involved sa pag-aaral ng ating halalan 2004, 2007, 2010. At sila po ay some of them are IT experts. Alam na po nila ang patakbo ng mga computer, anong lakas nito, anong hina nito, at kung paano isi-safeguard po ang mga resulta ng mga pinapasok nila sa computer sa pagbibilang po ng mga boto, pag-tabulate ng mga boto, at pag-transmit ng mga kanilang tabulation. Ngayon, unahin ko na po dito yung sa aking pinakakanan dito, medyo suki na po natin dito, si Ginoong June Estrella. Junior po, he is the management consultant, but he also was the Senate resource person during the 2004 election fraud. I guess that's the title now for the 2004 election, 2004 fraudulent elections. Hindi ba? As a matter of fact, there's now medyo, Kajun, meron ng clamor ngayon to declare FPJ as the winner, no? And we'll see what's going to happen to that. But he has worked also with computers since 1966.
Yes.
Kanya medyo nababad ka na sa technology ng computers. At sa kanya namang kanan po ay wala nang iba kundi si Ginoong Edmundo Tote Carino. Siya po, Casino. But did I say Carino? Pumasok sa isip ko kasi yung sa Phil States, Tote Carino. Tote Casino, I'm sorry. Vice President po ng Philippine Computer Society. So alam na nyo kung saan ang gagaling si Ka Tote. At saka din ang founding partner ng CCH and Associates Company. Alright, you two are very much in the forefront of the fight with COMELEC regarding their actuations in the 2007 elections, especially eventually, I guess, also the 2010 elections. Nagkaroon tayo ng problema dito also in the 2004 regarding the use of all of these electronic counting machines. There was a law that was passed that would automate the election kasi sabi rin, naku, tagal-tagal naman ang eleksyon dito sa ating bansa. Yes. Bago mo malaman kung sinong nanalo, isang buwan ang nakalipas, hindi mo pa alam kung sinong nanalo. Mientras na sa place like India with over 100 million voters, my gosh, they know the results within 3 days. Okay, I'd like to give you an opportunity. Umpisahan kita dito, Kajun. What do you think, about whether the COMELEC is prepared for the 2013 elections and how they're going about that preparation? Have you any confidence that we will have good and clean and fair elections in 2013?
Well, the COMELEC will always say, since they had the 2010 experience, that they are prepared for 2013. Unfortunately, the results of the 2010 elections can really be challenged in any court that we have, because there were so many safeguards that COMELEC promised. In fact, it's included in the contract with Smartmatic, that they said that they will really put into effect in the 2010 elections. But 2 months before, specifically March 4, they disabled the electronic signature. And everybody knows in the banking industry, in the computer industry, that if you do not have an electronic signature, you're not sure where the results are coming from.
Baka ka tin-transmit from some other machine.
Well,
Kasi you can no longer validate kung sino nagtatransmit, no?
That's right, yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Di ba nangyari yun?
it happened, yeah. March 4, there was a resolution by COMELEC instructing the Board of Election Inspectors that when they are now prepared to send the election results, they are now going to apply their digital signature. The instruction was, press no. Do not apply your digital signature. Then the machine will reply, are you sure you will not apply your digital signature? The instruction was, press yes.
Wait, parang very deliberate yun. Katote, why is anybody sued them? Or the COMELEC?
Well, there were some moves by the Center for People Empowerment and Governance, or CENPEG. They question about that, the legitimacy of the digital signature. And
saan nila final yan? Sa ombudsman o sa
no, they've raised a question with the COMELEC MBank prior to election, and saying that before they filed a case, they did file a case, I believe,
after the election.
After the election. But one of the cases that they filed, which the Supreme Court granted them, is the review of the source code.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were granted in favor of that. However, COMELEC gave them some conditions that they can only review the source code at the premises of COMELEC, which is already a controlled environment. And the purpose of understanding whether the source code used during election day is the same as what was supposed to be prescribed. But now if you put it in those restrictions within the confines of COMELEC, what are you supposed to test? It's already a pre-program designed to make sure that the program did work according to specs. But apparently, what CENPEG was looking at, the actual programs that was used during the election itself. Pag nilagay mo yun dun sa, within the premises of COMELEC, there is no way that you'll be able to know that eto ba tamang ginamit na software. Now,
at saka di ba ang problema naman doon palagi mo kung ibang klaseng software, may dagdag yung ibang software na nilagay sa ibang makina. Pero hindi naman kailangan na dudukturin mo lahat ng makina.
Yes. Hindi naman kailangan lahat. And you were saying earlier now, because digital signature, pwede nga siya mag-transmit from any other location. That's really possible. Who can tell whether the source code came from somebody's house and transmit the results when actually the digital signature, as what Jun was saying, was disabled. The purpose of the digital signature is to ascertain by a third party outside Smartmatic and COMELEC that this source, the origin of this, comes from a legitimate source. Now, ang sinasabi nila, they issued them this I button, which they equate to be the equivalent of the digital signature. And we objected to that. We in the Philippine side, no, that is not the equivalent of it. Because if it's issued by this vendor, then the vendor can issue so many of this, what they call I button as so-called digital signature, and says that is legit, when there's nobody to attest that is my signature. Now, under Batas Pambansa 881, which is the Omnibus Election Code signed in December of 1985, it is very specific there in the law that by the act of the Board of Election Inspectors, which has been deputized by the COMELEC, and these are the DepEd public